Okay, it's raining outside. It's the day after Thanksgiving. And I am going to use VHT Wrinkle Coat Plus on my head cover. I have a little heater going here, just try to help the humidity a little bit. I scuffed up all of the surface as evenly as I could with, I think, 120 or 220, I think it was 220 grit sandpaper. Got over the whole thing, did the whole thing with acetone. I got like that 5-gallon thing of acetone over there, thanks Home Depot. And it's bone dry. And I even got, along the ridges are probably the most important because that's where, if it takes a hit, it'll want to come off. The flat surfaces aren't such a big deal because, they're not going to get touched by very much. But right along these edges right here, I got really good. And I've used it before and it works out great. I'm going to go through the process just to show you but right now this is just the first coat. You got to hit it with like 2 or 3 coats. And I had it inside the house to warm it up, and I had the can inside the house to warm it up because it's cold out here. But I'll just go over it. Oh shit, I almost forgot. This is really important. You gotta make sure you wear a mask.
You have very successful flower shops. Stick to that.
Alright, I tipped up the can upside down to get the smegma out of the tip, and I'll wipe it off just a little bit to make sure that it's good. Alright, so I'm going to let it sit for 15 minutes or so, and I'll come back and do another coat. Alright. Okay, I decided to keep this warm in my pocket. Went inside, took a shit, figured that's a long enough time for this thing to dry a little bit. It should still be a little sticky because it takes 24 hours to dry, I guess. Or what it says on there. It says at least 24 hours allow it to dry, because then it's going to start to wrinkle. But you still want it to be wet because it's going to be wrinkling on top of the next coat. And that's what it is. It's the layers that makes it wrinkle. So, alright. Cleared. Coat number 2 is done. Alright. Going for a third coat. Alright. So I'm going to let it sit for, however many hours, or 24 hours. Tomorrow it'll look completely different after it dries overnight.
I decided it wouldn't be cool if I just made the video of the wrinkle coat and then didn't show you what the finished product looked like. And of course I'm taking it out here to the dining room table on the old cupcakes. So as you can see, this was like maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours ago. And it slowly got wrinkly, and it looks fairly even. Obviously on the very most, I'm trying to get the right angle of the light. You can see on the flatter spots, it really doesn't want to wrinkle so much. But right on the top, and you don't see this part too much on it. When you're looking down on the motor, you see a lot of this. That right there is the most important part. This stuff is pretty tough. When you get down on the bolts, it's always going to cut a little bit off. But I've seen that it actually still stayed pretty well. So it's kind of it's going to seal a little bit too when you get the bolts and the washers on. And I'm still being very careful not to touch it. Still giving it 24 hours. And tomorrow morning, it's not, I guess it won't be 24 hours. It'll be like 12 hours, but it'll be fine. Tomorrow I'm going to take it, pop it in the oven, turn on the vent hub, and open up the windows because it's gonna stink, and I'm gonna bake it. It's still got the gasket underneath it. I think it's gonna be fine because it's only 200 degrees, I believe, for 1 hour. 200 degrees isn't that hot, but that right there will cure it, and then it's gonna be tough as nails. So I'm not gonna show that part of the video, but just to let you know, the end result looks pretty hot to me. I like it. I don't mind wrinkly. I like this texture. It seems so industrial to me. So there you go.